So, welcome to Horizons Person to Person podcast. I'm Flutt3r, and this is Solaris30, and we're going to be talking about mental health and the issues that Solaris has faced and how she deals with them. So, Solaris, what kinds of mental health issues have you had to face in your life?
So I have realized that I have severe depression and anxiety, and it's gotten a lot worse since COVID. And I've knew I've had it my whole life, but I didn't really. I just kind of pushed it off. And then after COVID happened, I realized that I needed to get it under control and figure out how to manage it better because I just didn't want to do anything at all and I didn't want to live life, I guess. So,
COVID has been really difficult for a lot of people. What have been some of the strategies that you've been using to help deal with this depression and anxiety?
so, I do a lot of, I was seeing a therapist for a while and that helped a lot. Um, it was telecommunication, which was nice because then you didn't have to go into the office and you could just do it on the computer. And so that was really great. But self care is a really good thing to do for yourself. I really highly recommend it because just take time, to do something for yourself. And, if it's just a bath or if it's, doing a craft or reading a chapter in a book, um, or going to get your nails done. It's just do one like self care a day for yourself would be highly recommended for having depression and anxiety.
I totally agree with that. I love taking baths when I'm having a rough day. They really do help loosen things up. Have you been able to expand your circle of friends and supports since you've come into VR at all, or has that been
Yes, I
difficult?
have. Nope. I mean, it's been a little, sometimes it's difficult just because with depression, anxiety, um, it still feels like you're around people, even though like you're not because it's ones and zeros, but they're still people. There's, the ones and zeros are still people behind the, avatars. And you do
Yeah.
get the people that get in, the kids and children that get in your face and or it's a big group of people, which sometimes bothers me. Um, but I have friends that understand in here that they're like, oh, I can tell how she's acting that, she's like distancing herself from us and stuff. And they're like, hey, what's going on? And I met a lot of great people in here that understand. And sometimes I even use code words when I'm in a group and I'll say something and then my friends will help me like get away from it and not have to be around it. So, which is really nice. So VR I feel like really helps because, it's I can talk to people in here about what I'm going through and get some stuff off my chest if I need to and they're always willing to help me um, manage my depression and anxiety.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you find that world building helps you with any of it at all? Like getting your mind off of things, or does that increase your anxiety of not being good enough at something, or how does that help you or not help
I
you?
feel like it's a little bit of the anxiety, but I feel like it helps more with the depression because I love to come in here and build, and it really gets my mind off of like the day to day things that make me anxious and the stuff that why I get depressed. And it makes me want to do something instead of just like with depression, it's like you just don't want to do anything and you just want to just sit in bed all day and or sit on the couch and just be a bump on a log. And at least in Horizon, yes, you're sitting on the couch or you can stand up, but you're doing something. You're putting your mind, you're putting your mind to use. And so it's really nice. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy building because I can get my mind off of things. And sometimes when you want to be alone, you just create a new blank world and go to town.
Yes.
So, what has been your biggest accomplishment that you feel that you've had, um, just in general, since you've recognized your own, you know, issues and the things that help you? What do you feel is really like? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm now able to do this, and I wasn't able to before.
I realize that I'm very happy with myself that I finally came to terms at saying, like, yes, I have depression. Yes, I have anxiety, and I'm talking about it with people instead of just hiding it from everybody. Like, I just feel like like a lot of people just go through their life being like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me." Like, and if they're like if I do have depression and anxiety, they don't want to tell anybody about it because they're fearful to say something because it could, wreck their life or ruin their life. And it really isn't like that. People care about, you and they want you to be better and be happy. And so it's just really nice um that I can finally just come out with it and be like, yes, I have depression and yes, I have anxiety and this is all the problems that I'm going through. And then I finally have people that support me and help me with this and help me to manage it, even if it's my doctor. Um, and so, yeah, it's really nice.
Excellent. Hold on one second. Brandon, you're welcome to stay. There's a chair over there. If you could hang out in that chair while we're recording, because we are recording. And since you've gotten in the video while I was recording, are you okay with your image? Okay, awesome. So yeah, if you could just take a seat in the chair so that way you're not bouncing around, or you're welcome to just hang on the other side of the wall. Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I
no, it's
wanted to
okay.
do a public session because people do come in, and it's good for them to see the different things that we can do in Horizons, such as podcasting, and that you don't need the expensive equipment that you normally have to have because the microphones on our headsets have noise canceling and noise balancing, and it's actually recorded at the perfect levels. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know that.
yeah, so all you have to have is your headset, and um so I'm that's part of my goal, is to show people that you don't have to have anything else. If you've been dreaming of doing something like podcasting, you can do it in here, and I've created other worlds so that anyone can just walk in. There's no logos, there's no signs that say, "Hey, this is made by." It's just an empty world that has, some nice stuff, and the microphones and stuff are already all set. There is
Oh, that's
labels on the
nice.
microphones for the people who did make it. UK, Ukulele Man, and Mateus helped make these
Hmm.
microphones. So
They're really nice. They're really nice microphones.
yeah, they are. I was having trouble with the armature. Uh, I know it's really simple
Oh.
design, but I was like trying to picture it in my head and I couldn't. And Yuke's like, "Oh, I got
No,
this."
sometimes it's always the simplest design that gets you.
Yeah, definitely. So, back to what you've been doing. You started out making Harry Potter worlds, and you've made some amazing worlds. You made the oh, hold on, let me think of the name right now. Um, because I know you made the boar's hat, and but you
I
made
made
the Diagon, not Diagon Alley. What was the name of the alley?
Griffin Alley. So I
Oh,
made
Griffin
Griffin
Alley.
Alley, the
Yes.
Boar's Hat. I made Sandwich Library. I did do Tiny McClay's, but I never published it. I'm thinking I'm going to go in a different direction with it, my that world, and do more of just a world hub world, and just do it of like all the worlds I've created, and let's put it in there and change the buildings a bit, and still leave it with like the magic and everything, just because I have a bunch of magic worlds. And but I think I'm just gonna change it up a bit, and just put other doors to other worlds like the Pink Palace and my sushi game world that I'm working on right now. Samurai game world. So, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna change it up and make it a hub world instead of a Harry Potter themed world.
Very cool. That's a good idea. Get rid of the IP.
Yes.
For those who don't know, IP basically makes it so that we can't get our worlds featured because we don't own the
Yes.
property rights. So, yeah, it's been an interesting journey, going through your different worlds and seeing where you got into. And you also made one called Galaxy Train.
Oh, yes. I really love that one a lot. It's one of my favorites that I've done. I love the different eras that I did in there and made it futuristic at the same time. And I loved how I could get everybody else to help out and have their little rooms in there. I hope as soon as we maybe our capacity gets a little bit higher, I can invite more people in there to create more room or their own room in there so we can have more people's ideas in the carts in the Galaxy train.
Very cool. That's awesome. So, I also know that you're part of the LGBTQ community and you've been a panelist for Facebook's Horizon in the past. Um, have you been out within Horizon more, or are you, um, how have people been with supporting you and helping you feel seen?
I actually, yes, in Horizon, I have been more out, especially in my worlds. I've been really doing a lot of trying to do more for LGBTQ um, in my worlds to show people that, hey, I want everybody to feel welcome here um, in my worlds. And so at least I try to put something in there that is LGBTQ. Is it T plus? In
It's
my
LGBTQ plus usually,
It's
but
Q plus.
is
Okay.
but
I
that's not
I always get it
important.
mixed.
It's
I
no,
always
it's
get
not
it mixed up.
important.
But I always try to get it in the, like at least in my worlds, and I've been like telling people like, hey, and like, yes, I am bisexual, and this is me, and this is who I am, and I support everybody if you're not, and but if
Yeah,
you are going to down somebody, please don't, because it's not nice, and I doubt they would do it to you. So be nice. Everybody in the community is nice to everybody, and I've had incidents where people weren't nice about it, and which is sad. I feel like it's it's the 21st century, and people need to get on the boat, I guess, and realize that hey, this is a thing, and everybody's different and everybody's born different. So
exactly. I mean, I know when I transitioned in Horizon, and that was a big thing. It actually, kind of broke Horizon for a little bit for me because of it. And I think that it was really amazing how supportive this community was. A lot of communities you get like some kickback for it, and there isn't that, at least not in this group of people that we're involved with, which is really great. And I think that's why all of us try to reach out to new people to make them realize that there is great people in here. And yeah, it's
yes,
really nice.
it's really nice family in Horizon, and I like it. And I'm just worried a little bit about when it gets out of beta and then we start getting a lot of kids in here. So I'm just hoping it stays as nice as that it is now for the future.
So I know you recently graduated, and are is that correct? You graduated from your program, or you're still in your program?
For my veterinary technician, I'm still in my program.
Oh, okay, I thought you had graduated because I know you're working as a vet
Oh
tech,
no, no.
right? Is that correct?
Um, Actually, I am taking time off work because we will be moving so
Oh,
soon. So I've been just kind of focusing on moving stuff, like getting packed and doing Etsy because I have my own Etsy shop and trying to focus on me right now with my depression, anxiety being so bad. So I'm just trying to take some time for myself right now.
Oh, very good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that you're doing that. I know how excited you were for that job, and but sometimes, putting things on hold is as important as continuing and pushing yourself
Yes.
forward, and recognizing it is so, so, so important. So,
I
what
feel
do you
like a lot of people. Oh,
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand with people with depression and anxiety that it does affect their everyday life. And they're just like, oh, you have depression, anxiety. Yeah, like whatevs. And it really does affect your work and it really does affect your life and trying to get out of bed to actually go to your job and or even to just do the laundry or the actually make yourself something to eat. It's actually,
Right.
that really affects your life. Like people have like, there's different states of depression. And I'm actually at that stage where it's like right now, it's like I don't want to do anything with like, and so it's like even trying to get out of bed sometimes is difficult. And so, like, working and stuff is like, I don't really want to. And like, it just doesn't like, I don't want to live my life. And so that's why it's like, I want to get this under control so I can have a healthy and happy life.
You're doing an amazing job. You've recognized your weaknesses and your strengths, and focusing on your strengths is, what's really important right now. And, I was speaking with Tina in her world recently, and one of the things I said was just for today, just for this moment, just for this minute, when dealing with any kind of adversity, and with depression, just for this minute, I'm going to sit up, because sometimes just sitting up is all you can do, because people do not realize that depression can truly be debilitating,
It
physically
really
and
is.
yeah.
And I'm like happy that they recognize depression as a disability. And because it really is, like, you just don't want to do anything. Like, you could just not care about living. And that's what sucks about it. Because it's like, and or the depression can make you overeat. Or, there's like different things that can just make you do. It just controls your whole body and it can control your relationship, and sometimes it makes it hard not to have a relationship. And you know and it just makes your life hell, and I hate it. So I might laugh about it, but that's one of my mechanisms, I guess. I do when I'm
Yep.
upset or anything, I try to like laugh it off. And but it's just um yeah, it just kind of sucks. But I have a great doctor and I have great friends that, are helping me try to get this under control and try to manage it. So I have a great community in Horizon that help me too. So
You're not the
I'm
only one
happy.
who tries to laugh it off. Many people may or may not be aware that Robin Williams suffered severe depression. And, and what he would do is he would try and make other people laugh. On his worst days, he was at his best. And so when
That's
he
very
was at
true.
his best, he was he wasn't being looked out after, because people didn't realize that the laughter was a way of coping for him. And, you know,
It's like
um,
wearing a mask on your face.
it,
Metaphorical one, not a COVID one.
yeah, you, you bring up a really awesome point about masks, because I did a speech, oh goodness, in 2010, and I talked about the masks that we wear, and I physically made a mask out of plaster of Paris, and painted it with all the different types of masks that we wear on our faces. And it's true, we're always, trying to put this best face forward, and sometimes it's like VR is great because it can hide the crying, it hides the red eyes, it hides the dark circles, from not sleeping. And um, it hides so much. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want all people to know that you're not alone. They're not alone. none of us are alone, that we have people that we can turn to.
And yes, and then I loved when the fact that you asked me if I wanted to do this, I was very happy because I feel like a lot of people don't understand depression and they just think, "Oh, it's nothing." And that's not like a real illness, and it really is. And people just don't understand that it's really debilitating and that
Yeah.
it messes up your speech. It messes up like half the time I can't even think. And
Yeah.
like it's so frustrating that I live like that every day, and it's like and trying to just like even remember to take my medicine because I just don't want to do it. Even though the medicine's going to help you, it's just like, no, I don't even want to do that. And it's like, yes, you have to take care of yourself, and you know it's just really just one of those things that's people don't understand. And so I was very happy when you asked me today to do this, um, to talk about it.
This, so I'm very open about my own past. I've suffered major depression, suicidal depression, and I've been in the hospital for it. And it took years to get to the point where I'm at today. Um, and because of that, all of my worlds, and I don't know how many you've been to personally, but like Etheria especially, its whole focus is on depression and suicide awareness. It's not like in your face about it, but the positive affirmations, the I can do this, I just have to breathe, the semicolons hanging from the tree of hope itself having that name, positive affirmations on the wall, and the suicide prevention and hotline number is on the
Yes,
wall. And all of that is because it's even a reminder for myself. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'll go there and I'll just look at those things and go, okay, you've been there. You can get past this. You can do it. But for today, just sit here and breathe and look at this and remind yourself of where you've come from. You've
I usually
gotten so
like
far.
when I'm having a bad day, I always come in Horizon because like I'm having a bad day and then I come in here and then everybody just says positive affirmations to me all the time. Like they'll comment on my world and be like, "Your world is so amazing. This is what I love about it." Or
Yeah,
they'll be like, "Oh, like I'll change my clothes like every other day." And they'll be like, "Oh, I love that hat on you, on your avatar." And it just even though it's not like real life, it just kind of still makes me feel really good. So it's like, yes, if I'm having a bad day, even just coming in here for an hour just kind of makes me feel better, even if it's talking to Sassy or you or Echo Flower or even Shio Guy, one of the community guides. Just like saying hi to somebody and just seeing how they're doing. And yes, like one day they might like have a bad day, like that day, but there's somebody else that be could having a good day, and then they're telling them you about their day, and that just makes you feel a little bit better because they're positive, and their positivity rubs off on you, which is so
exactly.
nice.
Yeah. And I was actually talking to one of the community guys about this. I said, I know this isn't your job. I know your job is just to hang out here if we have questions, but knowing that we can go to the plaza when we're having a bad day and if there's somebody there, I know we don't talk to you about like major stuff, but just to chat is so reassuring, like,
Oh, yes.
because sometimes you don't want to tell your friends you're having a bad day. So you just go to the plaza and there's, there's an adult there that you can talk to. I feel like, wow, we're so lucky because we have the people that we meet and make friends with in here. But when you're alone and you haven't met anybody yet, you're still not alone because you have the guides. At least you can talk to
Yes.
them you know, and they'll tell funny jokes or they'll, again, it's like their job isn't really to do any of that, but they do it. And I
Yeah.
love that they're there. And, you know, I know that Shio Guy has helped a couple people who have had bad days, and I don't know if Facebook or Horizon is aware of how amazing having those guides are, but it's really,
Oh, I don't. They are amazing. They
oh,
do such a
definitely.
great job. You know, giving, help to everybody and being there for everybody. It's they're, you know, give them a raise, Facebook.
Yeah,
They
no
do an
kidding.
amazing job.
When I see them, it's always like, yes.
And they always like, I know, yes, they see, they see your name above, but it's just like they still ask. They don't just be like, "Hi, Flutter," or "Hi, Solaris." They're always like, "Oh, hi, how are you doing?" Like they actually
Yeah,
ask you a question and they
right.
talk to you for a couple seconds, and then, so it's
Yeah,
so nice. They don't just like, "Hey," like at least they, you know, put in the
right.
like effort and everything, and it's so nice that they do that. Like,
Oh, it really
I
is.
just love
It's
to go to the plaza and then someone is like, "Oh, hi, Solaris. How are you doing today?" And and I say a little bit and I'm like, "Wow, I feel a little bit better today because somebody asked me how I was doing."
that's such a great thing that they do that, and I want to say this is a real positive for Facebook compared to, and I'm going to say it, alt space, because the alt space employees that are in the campfire area, they don't talk to the people. Their avatar is there, but they're in a headset or not in a headset, and they're on their 2D version on their computers doing whatever. But their job is not to try to interact with us at all. They're only there to log issues. You know,
See, I've never been to alt space, so I have
oh,
I've heard nothing but bad things about it, so I don't ever want to go there.
it's actually
I
not a
don't want to
bad
put my
space.
anxiety in there. Feel like it
Yeah.
might get worse.
Um, well, it's just different. It's a
Mm.
great place for what it's designed for, which is hosting large scale events, 50 people. They have
Oh
it so that
wow.
your avatar can be across rooms. So y- if you're in this room and it's full, you'll have a secondary instance, but they'll still hear you.
Oh wow.
So those kinds of things are, Facebook is and Horizon are going in that direction, and I hope it's sooner than later. But so that's where, the that's why I still go there. But the differences are huge. People, when you go into the campfire area, don't engage as much or as friendly. It's more confrontational, and I'm not sure why. Because you've been to the plaza and you're like, oh, when you see somebody come into the landing area, right? And you say hi, whatever their name tag is, or how do you say your name? Because it's not spelled how you would think or whatever. And people are just generally more pleasant, minus some of the children.
Yeah, yes, even the kids, like sometimes they'll get in your face, but you can always be like, "Hey, I have personal space. This is my personal space and you're in it." And
Yeah,
sometimes they'll back off. But with, which is nice that Facebook gave us the option to mute somebody or block somebody or even pull them out of the plaza if they're really bugging you. But I really recommend, like, for me, I feel a lot of people just like, oh, that kid is screaming, and then they automatically just block them instead of going up there and have a conversation with a child and being like, hey, we're all trying to have a conversation in here. If you could please, like maybe stop screaming, or if you would go somewhere else, or just talk to him, maybe seeing if there's something up with him or her and checking in on that child. Yes, they're not supposed to be in here, but you know, that's not our decision. Like, that's their parents' decision that they let them in here. And, but, maybe I get that once in a while, that kid that's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me fix my behavior. And they
right.
will do that. And
Yep,
instead of blocking them or muting them or just pulling them out, you could just say, hey, what's going on? How are you
yep.
doing? And it might fix it.
It's
So,
true. It's true. I do that a lot. But sometimes they don't take the hint. And
yes.
sometimes
And
we
then you
have to
have to,
report. And
yes.
then, yes, we block. But,
And then we walk.
but the issue with blocking, and I don't know if you found this yet, if they're in your world, because they can still go to your world, right? You can get blocked
Oh,
out of your
yes.
own world and your own events. So you gotta be, so I cannot block because one time I was hosting a meditation event and I couldn't get into my own world.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't block people too much. I just usually just either
Yeah.
mute them or I'll go. And another option they gave us too was go into a different instance, and I'll just
Yep.
go into a different instance. And,
Yeah.
so then I don't have to be bothered by that child anymore and
Right.
hang out with my friends still. And
Yeah.
so, which is really nice that they gave us that. So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was before that.
yes, right. Before all this awesome stuff they gave us.
Yes, all these wonderful tools. Like I used to have boop sticks or magic wands that would send people away and put them into a timeout. And I haven't had to do that anymore because we have all these other tools. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I want people to land in here. On the other side of the door, there's a warning. This is a recording. And people will mute their microphones and they'll come in, they'll scooch in a little bit, see what we're doing, listen for a few minutes, and then they go away, but at least they got to see what we're doing in here, and I find
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like, and not blocking people, which right now I only have one person blocked. And it's a little kid. And it's because the kid was just super hyper. Nothing wrong with this child. So I'm like,
I think I have one block too, and it was because he was just really inappropriate, actually, and he was just
oh,
trying to get himself blocked. So I was like,
okay.
yep, I'm going to block you because you're not being very,
Yeah.
mature about being in Horizon and inappropriate. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So, what are your long-term goals for Horizon? Now that there's this creator money that's going out to people who are builders and scripters and things like that. Are you planning on entering any of those events? Are you just gonna keep doing what you're doing?
I
Do you
think
have a goal for
I'm
that?
actually so I've been asked a couple times to build worlds for people, and I've been getting paid for it. So I've been doing that, and I'm gonna start like creating more of my worlds and try to get more involved in the community. So like doing something like this, or even just teaching people, new people, how to just go in their world and build. I actually, with Women in Horizon on Tuesday, I'm going to be helping with new women who are coming in Horizon. I'm going to help teach them how to build and do basic scripting in a world. So I want to try to like get more involved in Horizon, and I will be, as much as I can, entering the events um, that they host. So I really want to push further into Horizon and get better at it.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It's so important, I think, that everyone finds their niches in Horizon, and I love helping people with scripting and building because I get to meet so many of the new people doing that, and see them getting a good start in here.
It just inspires me so much to see, like, when I'm helping somebody build, to see how happy they are when they're doing it and how
Yeah,
much fun they are, and it just is like, man, like it just makes me like want to just go make another world and start building again. And so it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to build today. And then someone's like, hey, can you come and help me? And then I go help them in their world. I'm like, oh, okay, now like, I got my creative juices going again. And then after I'm done helping, I'll go back on my other world again, start going to town and making stuff again. So it's just
that's
really nice to be able
wonderful.
to help somebody else.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that are in Horizon, that you're finding your home here, and your family, your Horizon family. And that's been
Yes.
like the biggest thing I can say is I think almost everybody I've talked to says that Horizon has their own little mini family.
Oh, yes. And it's really nice too because, I really highly recommend actually meeting the people outside of Horizon. So I'm actually my friend Krish Topher, who's in Horizon. He's actually going to be coming towards Minnesota, and we're going to be catching up. And I'm going to meet him out of Horizon, which is nice. So if you get a chance to ever meet anybody out of Horizon,
Hmm.
I would highly recommend doing it because it'd be really nice to not see ones and zeros and actually meet the person.
Totally agree with that. Well, thank you so
Be
much,
safe though,
Solaris.
and it's
Yeah,
with
I
COVID.
agree.
Yeah.
100%. Be safe, open places. Yep.
Yes.
Go with somebody else if possible. Yep.
Yes. Yes. If you're going to meet somebody out, that's since this is virtual and that's real life.
Yeah.
Yes, take somebody with you.
But I do know Krish, and he is a really amazing person. And yeah, I wouldn't have any reservations there.
Yes. Well, my husband's going with me, so
Oh,
we'll be
nice.
taking.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little vacation, like a weekend, and go see his whole family up there, or where he's gonna be in South Dakota. So yeah, it's
Very
gonna be really
cool.
nice.
Well,
So
thank you so much for coming on today. Is there any other things that you'd like to share coming up that you'd like people to know about? Any um, new worlds that you're
so
launching?
next month, we'll be launching a world called World Jam, and I'm hoping everybody can participate. There's not going to be any money involved. Just we're going to pick winners. So there'll be little trophies, and then you can like import them in your world, saying, "Hey, you won first prize," and it's going to be like in um, you can pick like the environment or health, like how we're talking right now about mental health, and you
Hmm.
can build a world around it for this world jam. And so there'll be like first, second, and third place, and we'll have more information about it in the World Jam World, and that we'll be posting about or publishing in the next month or by the end of this month. So yes, hopefully we can
Awesome.
get a lot of people to participate. So
Yeah. And I think you also are participating in the Purple Flower as well, right? The Purple Flower event
yeah,
with
well,
a
I
Better
did.
World.
Yes, I did put some flowers in her world in Better World Museum's world. So, and I put Flutter by Tea Room in there because I feel like that's a very calm world, and it also has purple flowers in there. So,
It's perfect blend.
and I was also thinking about doing the word wonders this month for fire. So,
Oh, good. Yeah, it's a great
yes,
topic because there's so many things that
yes.
can be fiery,
Well,
passionate.
I was wanting to do, so mine was going to be based off the soul. So
Okay,
I
cool.
wanted to do different colors of the soul because that's how you feel sometimes. Like you might feel fiery red, and then
Yep.
other times you might feel fiery blue, or like, sad, like depressed, and
Yeah.
your soul is sad. And
Yep.
so, yep. So that's what I
It's
was
true.
thinking about doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Solaris.
Thank you for
Uh,
having me.